who spent years with NASA, talking about NASA then and now. And Principal Sandy from the Holly Heights Elementary School will be here in June. We got things happening, always looking for new options. And this morning we welcome Paula. Take it away, Paula.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me okay without the microphone?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good. I was always told in school that I talked too loud, so now it's coming in handy. And I'm trying out, I was telling Roger, I'm trying out a new system instead of recording with the iPad, because we've had some issues with sound and with the sun reflecting, which yay sun, but doesn't work great for technology. I'm trying it from the computer, so I'm using myself as a guinea pig today. So for those of you at home watching, we have 3 people logged on. If you have any feedback afterwards that you'd like to share, please send it my way. But without further ado, let's get started. I think I've met most of you. My name's Paula. I've been at the Lodge for a little over a year now. I started here as the catering coordinator, and then the pandemic hit. So I was furloughed for a while, and then they brought me back to work in the restaurant, and now I'm working with the lifestyle team. So I've kind of had my hands in a lot of different areas, but I'm so happy to be here. It's such a great community, and I'm excited to be here with you today. I'm just going to mute that so we don't, there we go. All right, here in technology, I'm like the worst millennial ever. Okay, a little bit about me. I was born and raised in Seattle, Washington, proud Ballard Beaver, for anyone from that area. I also graduated from Western Washington University. I have a Bachelor of Arts in Special Education. Growing up, I always thought I was going to be a teacher. Not a teacher, but I have found that a lot of the things I learned in school, I apply every day here, whether it's communication, organization, lesson planning lends itself really well to event planning. There's a lot of similar correlations. I currently live in Bonnie Lake. My husband and I bought a house. We're right down the road on the corner of Roads Lake Road and 198 in a little cul-de-sac there. We love being part of this community. Love Bonnie Lake. When I'm not at work, I love to read. I'm actively getting back into reading. That was one of my goals for this year. I love to explore. This is my husband. This is his Jeep. So part of why we moved to Bonnie Lake was because we Jeeped around here all the time. We would always go out by Ording or out by Wilkinson up on the logging roads. And finally he got tired of me saying, I wish we lived around here, and then he got us a house. So now we're here. But this was our save the date for our wedding. We have our little sign up there. Love to Jeep, love being outdoors. I love the Pacific Northwest. I'm so lucky that we live somewhere like this. It's just, I mean, it doesn't get much better. And then this is my dog. This is Roxy. For those of you who know me, I'm a little bit obsessed with my dog. She's my mouse pad. She's the love of my life. Don't tell my husband. But this was a picture that we took on my birthday last year at Cannon Beach, which is also one of my favorite places. We were just there not too long ago. It's a great destination. I'll talk about some destinations a little bit further along in the presentation. But as I said, I'm a proud pit bull mom and advocate. I'm a huge advocate for the breed. My dog was a rescue. I think they're very highly misunderstood, and she's just the sweetest little thing. If you're wondering why I'm dressed like this, it's Star Wars Day. May the Fourth be with you, everyone. We are going to be watching A New Hope this evening here in this room. So I dressed the part, and now you all get to witness my Leia buns, which are actually much harder than one would think. So they're not even, but after about 8 rounds, I just said, it's fine, it's gonna be great, it's fine. So there's that one for us. And I also love to cook. So if you have any recipes that you've tried that you love, I would love to try them. I have probably 15 cookbooks. My grandma and I used to cook all the time. My mom cooked, but she didn't love cooking with flavors. So as soon as I started cooking myself, I learned that things like cumin weren't spicy. They were just delicious. So I love to cook. So if you have any great recipes, I'd love to try them out. So what my role is here at the Lodge. As I mentioned, I started as the catering coordinator, so I was brought here to help grow our events and our private events. Before I worked here, I worked at Ray's Boathouse in Ballard. I was the catering manager there. Beautiful restaurant, so delicious. I loved it there. And then I also worked at T-Mobile Park as a catering manager. So we worked with Enchant, if any of you went to that. We did weddings there. We did lots of big fundraisers for junior achievement, Costco, lots of big parties. Before I worked there, I didn't know you could have an event at the ballpark. But that was a really fun job. I walked more miles than I care to admit at that job, working around all the tunnels. But it was great, and now I'm here. So these 4 pictures kind of represent 4 different areas of what I do. On the bottom, we have a wedding that we just did this last Saturday here. So I'm still involved with the weddings and the events. I love weddings. I love parties. It's just being able to work with somebody and to make their vision become a reality is extremely rewarding to me. To see someone's face when they walk in and see everything as they've always imagined it is extremely rewarding. Down here, this is from Valentine's Day. So this is myself and Allie. She's our food and beverage supervisor here. For Valentine's Day, it snowed, if you remember. We had a beautiful indoor dinner planned, and then since pandemic times, we had to pivot, which we've gotten used to doing. But we pivoted and we had a drive-through takeout experience for Valentine's Day. We offered the same meal. We put up our tent, and then I also, in my husband's truck, delivered our candy grams that morning because I was not going to let some snow stop the Valentine's fun. So we still got our Valentine's gram delivered. It was a great day. This is a picture from our SSL sightseers, which I'll touch on in a little bit here too. But we recently went up to the tulip fields. So this was a new program that Jason and I have started to get our members out to explore some local areas. And then this was from our Earth Day. So summary of what I do, I'm involved with the food and beverage team. I work with the private events and our member events. I'm actively involved with membership, whether it's active learners, member-led clubs, whether it's fitness. I run MTL. So if there's anything on MTL that you think is incorrect, let me know. But it's also a grace area because it's a lot to manage. But that's what I do. I love being a part of it here. It's a great place to be, a great team to work with. Let's see here. All right, so I'm going to touch on a couple of different areas. So the first one I'd like to talk about is member-led clubs, which you all are familiar with because you're a part of this member-led club, which is Active Learners. So at the club, we have over 35 member-led clubs, which is amazing. We try to have something for everyone. There is hiking club, gardening club. We have 2 book clubs. There's 2 quilting clubs. We have a Seahawks fan club. There's an RV club. There's Rummy Cube, Mahjong. There's 2 Mahjongs. I didn't know there was an American Mahjong and then a traditional Mahjong, but there is. There's something for everyone. And that being said, if there's something that you have a passion about that you don't feel like is represented by one of the many clubs, just let us know. We want to make sure that there's something here at the lodge for each of you to be a part of and to feel connected with others. This is a picture from our kickoff bike club meeting that we had a couple of weeks ago. We had a great turnout. Valerie did amazing. She led the intro meeting here, and then they went off on a neighborhood ride. So this is from that. And then one thing that I put on here is the phase changes. So as we're all very familiar with, things change about every 3 weeks with our current phase. So right now, Pierce County is in phase 2, which limits us to 25% capacity, household rules, and the maximum that we can have per table. So that has affected some member-led clubs, unfortunately, just because for games like Mahjong, it requires 4 people to be at a table, and unless it's 4 people from 2 different households, which it isn't, unfortunately, it makes it kind of hard. So I just wanted to take the time to say thank you to everyone because I know it's frustrating to feel like things are going back and forth and things change so frequently, but we're doing our best to try and stay accurate and provide safe experiences. So as soon as we're back in phase 3, which won't be today, we're crossing our fingers, we stay in phase 2 and don't roll back to phase 1, but that will be announced today, so stay tuned for that. We're all eagerly awaiting. But as soon as we go back to phase 3, which hopefully will be in 3 weeks, we'll be reactivating Mahjong. We'll be able to activate some more clubs on site, so that'll be really exciting for us. So a couple of new clubs. So this was something I wanted to touch on, because as I mentioned, if you feel like there's something that you want to participate in, but you don't see it offered, just ask. We've had 2 members, Carl Cotton, and then Paula Seeger, who have reached out because they wanted to start new clubs that we don't already have here. So the first one is our genealogy club. I don't know if this link will work. Let's see here. I'm like the world's worst millennial. Oh, it's working. This is great news, everyone. Okay, so here, this is the club page for the genealogy club. So each member-led club has a page on MTL. MTL is really our main avenue for communication. So for the genealogy club and every other club, you'll see the club leader, and then you'll have their email and their phone number if they're okay with us posting it. We won't post anything unless people are comfortable with it. But if you ever want to learn more about a club, the leader is a great place to go. I love to know as much as I can, but I definitely don't know everything, unfortunately. So for the genealogy club, they just had their first meeting. They talked about writing an age-appropriate narrative for your grandkids or kids. We've been talking a lot about leaving your legacy for people. When this club first came along, it spoke to me because my mom and I always talk about how we wish my grandpa had written more things down. We have all of these beautiful photos. He was a photographer during World War II, and so we have all of these amazing photographs on him on an elephant in India, but we don't have much of a story beyond the photograph. So this one speaks very near and dear to my heart, just because I think it's very important for us all to remember that writing things down and communicating those memories are cherished things. So the genealogy club worked on that for their first one. They're meeting once a month right now, virtually, and then they will be meeting on site once we kind of can have more people and more shared spaces. But I wanted to walk us through here really quickly. Sorry, I'm playing Vanna White here as well. So on this club, for example, we'll have a recording of the meeting. So for the genealogy club, there's a lot of great information, but we can't always make a 10 a.m. meeting on a Thursday. So what we're doing with permission is we're recording the meetings so that if it's something that you're interested in, maybe you want to create a narrative for your grandkids or your great-grandkids, you can just click on the link from the meeting, and then you can participate in kind of as a retroactive. Paula Seeger has also put together newsletters. She's amazingly talented. I don't know how she's so organized. I envy her. But she's put together newsletters. Again, this created age-appropriate book, ancestral charts, family records. So all of these are links that if you click on them, they'll take you to the resources. So I just wanted to highlight that for us. Okay, now the tricky part will be to see if we can go back. Oh, look at that, technology. So the next one we have Mary Boland-Doyle, who is joining us online. I'm going to unmute this in case, Mary, not to put you on the spot, but if you want to speak to this, you're more than welcome to. Carl Cotton is also working on this club. He posted a video that I'm going to share with you that kind of goes over the memoir and womenar. They're very clever with their naming there. I loved it. So I'll show this video, and then Mary, if you want to speak to it at all, please do, but again, no pressure.
And we had fun too. Just new though, not like their anthem that's been around for a while. But we want new members, that's for sure. And it's called Memoirs and Womenwires.
Are you sure they're not women divorce? What's up, man?
You know what a memoir is?
I don't know what a memoir is.
I started this thing because Kathy and I are writing our dual biographies for our grandkids and stuff. And apparently, the Mary who backs me up says a memoir is slightly different. We have a definition of it. But, so memoirs are special impact, personalized, specified, specific biographies. I mean, they may include a certain time only, a certain, some of them are not ours, but are like you were abused as a kid, so, how is that affecting, or whatever affected your life, like you were in the Navy.
Well, and not only was I in the Navy, my father was too, and I wish to heck that I asked him more questions when he was alive. He had so much exciting adventures, and we don't have them. And it's too late now. I wish we had them.
Well, see, that you ought to write your memoirs so that your kids of your kids of your kids of your kids know who on earth you were or what you represented.
How interesting. What kind of people would you like to attract?
Just about anybody who's old, who's got something to say to younger legal legacy. That's my thing. Yeah.
And you say, do you have any members yet, or are you just starting?
We're just starting, but I think Wifey and I will be doing it because we're writing our biography. There's 2 English teachers by background, by trade, and I'm unfortunately a math dude, but I like writing, and so it's to write memoirs, kind of workshop oriented, and we meet monthly.
So would you read each other's memoirs and comment?
Depending on how much privacy someone wanted to protect, and kind of like, who are you writing for? Because we're probably not writing, although there's some published accounts for the general population, but I'm writing to my grandkids, and I'll share as much as I need so that people help me edit it and stuff.
So you would meet, what, monthly?
Yeah, we were going to meet Tuesdays, but actually one of them was this thing. It's Tuesday, so we're just midday on the 3rd Tuesday of the month. Anyway, we'll have a regular calendar. And monthly with assignments. We're going to have more assignments.
Wow.
But not like graded, kicked out of school for shooting spitwads or anything.
And if you have teachers in the plan, they're going to be. My gosh, they're going to stop me from throwing spitballs.
Yeah, 3 of us were teachers, and one of us was a college grad that will soon pull out. That's right.
Good. Well, I sure wish you well. It's very full. I hope you have lots of interest in it.
Yeah. Did you use up our 5 minutes?
That's it.
Perfect. So that was Carl Cotton. He comes to Active Learners. I was hoping he was going to be here today, but it doesn't look like he could join us. Well, tell him I hope he feels better. But he's very excited. And Mary, do you have anything that you would like to add to this?
Okay, so, sure. An autobiography is your memoirs. A memoir can be an autobiography, but they're not really the same. The expectation with a memoir is that it will be true and it will have a focus. You can't just shoot things all over the place. Or if you do, you want to tie it together with some focus. And then it should include something transformational in your life. And it should be your inner story. It is understood when you write an autobiography that things better be factual. With memoir, you can fudge it all you want. And then expect to hear from relatives who don't agree. And the reason is to connect yourself with your own history, possibly to get out little demons, possibly to make sense of life events you've been through. But more than anything, you want to connect yourself with your family or other people who might be in your situation. Other than that, memoir is a very personal thing, and really just writing it is kind of cathartic in a lot of ways. I have nothing more to add unless you have more.
Perfect. Thank you, Mary.
You're welcome.
Mary Boland Doyle. So Mary actually lives right across the street. She is on the streaming version, which is why we're just hearing her.
Paula, if you can hear me, your microphone's off.